each age, each generation, each period of history comes with beasts. And they come in different forms. And you can identify them by the way they see the world and by the way they act in the world. And they will pressure you. They may try to coddle you and then pressure you and then threaten you to see the world the way they see it and act in the world the way they act in it. And John says this calls for patient endurance and faithfulness on the part of God's people. Now, to understand those dynamics of how the pressure comes, we need to talk about this famous mark of the beast. 666. Everybody's afraid of it. Lots of speculation. After the first service, one of the retired nurses said to me in the hospital, she's at a hospital in Birmingham, there was a ward with a room 666, and no patient wanted that room. When I was at Asbury Seminary, I took a class on Revelation, and the course number was NT666. So whatever you make of the mark of the beast, it is forever emblazoned on my official academic record. So I've got it. It's gone. That's done. Let's hope that's not what it is. There's all kinds of speculation out there, right? Everything from barcodes on your soup can. That was what it was in the 80s and 90s anyway. We're more technologically advanced, and you can put microchips in your dog or air tags in your kid's shoelaces. That must be the mark of the beast now, right? Before long, there will be neural link implanted in people's brains. Obviously, if you search the interwebs for mark of the beast, prepare yourself with lots of grains of salt. Here's the thing, friends. We don't always want to make blanket generalizations because most generalizations aren't, well, there are times where they're wrong. I'm going to do it. All of that is wildly unhelpful. And not only wildly unhelpful, it is a dangerous distraction from what John is actually trying to offer to the people of God. Let's talk about the mark. Second beast comes along. He's the enforcer. He's the actuator. He wants people, he's the one who builds the systems to execute the reign of the first beast. One of those systems is a mark put on the forehead or the right hand, and to engage in the economic life of the society, you've got to have the mark. John tells us if you're going to figure out what the mark is about, it's going to take wisdom. You're going to have to do a little calculation, so I hope you brought your calculator. Here's the clue. The number of the beast, it's the number of a man. The number is 666. This is one of those Jewish pool of images things where it's not quite as easy as Daniel 7. You got to know a little bit about how they counted in the ancient world. The number system in the ancient world wasn't quite what it is today. And so what they would do is they would say, well, let's take the alphabet and invest each letter in the alphabet with a numerical. We don't have numbers, but we have letters. So we'll let each letter of the alphabet stand for a numerical value. So this is not complicated. I bet you can pick it up really quick. Greek alphabet, first letter is alpha. Guess how much the value was? A little louder? 1. All right, we're doing good. Second letter of the Greek alphabet, beta. Guess how much it was valued at? 2. 2 out of 2 so far. Third letter of the Greek alphabet, anybody know what it is? Gamma, that's good. You either went to seminary or you were in Greek life. Want to take a guess what the value is? 3. All right, so if that's how it works, and then combinations of letters have number values, and you take the first letter, its sum, you add it to the sum of the second letter, add it to the third letter, you get the sum, and that's the value. I should have done this during Sunday school. Like whatever letter of the alphabet, my name's Matt, M-A-T-T, so you take whatever the number value of M is, the number value of A, we went over that, it's 1, that's easy. And then 2 T's, so take that, double it, add it all together, and whatever that number is, summed up, is the number of my name. You can do yours over lunch if you want. It'll be a nice little exercise. So the question then becomes, Who are the best candidates in the Roman Empire where if you put the number values on their names, it adds up to 666? And you can imagine where this thing's going. Turns out there was a great candidate in the middle of the first century, late 60s, who was particularly nasty to Christians. You know him by the name of Nero. If you were to take the English name Nero and write it out in Greek with the title, it would be Neron Kaiser. Got an N on the end of Nero, not just Nero, but Neron. It's Greek. And if you were to give each one of those letters its number value and add them all up, anybody want to guess what it adds up to? 666. You might think, all right, well, that's fine. Is it enough? Here's the interesting thing. You can spell Nero without the N in Greek. It's a flexible language. You can drop things off sometimes. And so if you take Nero Kaiser and add those letters up, it's going to be a smaller number because we ditched a letter, right? Anybody want to take a guess what it adds up to? You won't know this unless there's a footnote in your Bible or you're really quick with your Greek letters. I left out a really important piece of this. You have to take the Greek and translate it into Hebrew. That's why it takes calculation. I got a little bit ahead of myself. The average Roman citizen doesn't have Hebrew. And so John wants to drop the clue in a way that his readers will get without giving it away. If you take Nero, translate it into Greek, you get take Nero in Greek, translate it into Hebrew. I'm all over the place right now. You get 666. If you leave the N off, render it in Hebrew, you get 616. Okay, why is that significant? It's significant because there's an entire manuscript tradition in the early church where the mark of the beast isn't 666, it's 616. So there are literally Bibles from the ancient world that say the number of his name is 616. And we're thinking, which one is it already, 666 or 616? The answer is yes, because both of them add up the sum of the name Nero. When you start in Greek, two different spellings, translated into Hebrew, this is what you get. So in my mind, it's virtually undisputable that when John has the beast in mind, he's thinking of Nero. Because that's the current incarnation of the dragon's power. False worship. The emperors by the first century were frequently declaring that they were divine. Temples to the emperors were bouncing up all over the empire, popping up all over the empire. They had structures set up which kept them where they were in their palaces in comfort, and the vast majority of people groveling in the streets day to day. So John says this is what it means, right? So if you have the number, it means you're aligned with the beast. What does the head and the hand have to do with it? Forehead, right hand. This is the crucial piece for discipleship. It's also why all the ridiculous speculation is unhelpful. In the Old Testament, in the Jewish mind, in Revelation, your forehead identifies your relationship with God, and whether it's good or bad. It identifies your perspective, it identifies your worldview, it identifies your attitude toward the world. So in the Old Testament, the high priest had a signet on his forehead. Anybody know what it said? Holy to the Lord. High priest puts on the garb, the vestments, does his high priestly work, and on his face is a signet that says holy to the Lord. Because it's defining his relationship to God, it's defining his vocation, it's defining the lens through which he should see the world, it's defining his attitude towards what he's doing. Attitude, perception, worldview, relationship to God written on your face. If you have the mark of the beast written on your forehead, then you become like old Uzziah, who, when he offered impure sacrifices, unholy fire, his forehead became leprous. He wasn't rightly related to God. He saw the world as a place that he could make the rules, he could manipulate, he was in charge, and it didn't matter what God said because he was God. Or at least wanted to act like it. To have the mark on the forehead is not a chip or a barcode. It is a posture, a way of seeing the world. It's a way of seeing the world the way the beast and the dragon see the world. What about that right hand? Read the prophets. When God gets ready to act, what does he always say, or often say? I'm going to raise my mighty right hand. And that means he's getting ready to do something. He not only has the posture, he's ready to act. So when you put these two together, to have the mark of the beast on your forehead means I see the world the way the beast sees the world. My attitude towards the world is beastly. My posture in the world is beastly. My worldview is beastly. And to have the mark on my forehead means my action in the world, my ethics in the world, the way I engage my family, my neighbors, my political community, my company, the way I engage in the world is beastly.